so hypnotic, magical. Don't wanna let you know you're so hypnotic, magical. So hypnotic, magical.
The rain is out, the cold is here, and we are back on Bello Field. It is the start of the spring season, and it begins right here on March 1st with the Tufts Jumbos beginning their 2025 campaign against the Connecticut College Camels. I'm Riley Dano, joined here by Catherine Burns, and let's jump right into this Jumbos team, which has been nothing short of sensational on Bello Field in Courtney Schutt's reign here as we take a look. You look at this team, and since the 2020s have started, 31-3 at home. The only teams to win here since 2019, other than the Jumbos, the Middlebury Panthers, who did it once, the Wesleyan Cardinals did it twice. Courtney Schutt 68-16 at home in her career. And the most astounding stat, the average margin of victory for this Jumbos team in the last 3 years at home, 8.5 goals per game. And when you look at their attack here, Catherine, it's pretty easy to see why they've been so good.
Absolutely. You see, the three-headed monster that we talk about is with Ali Zorn, Margie Carden, and Ella Lesperance. Ali Zorn having 45 goals last season with 29 assists. Ella Lesperance following her with just 44 goals and 48 assists. And the big one, Margie Carden with 59 goals and 24 assists. Looking for maybe even 200 today here on Bello.
She could. 197 for the career for Margie Carden coming in today. On the other side, the college Camels come in here, and really, they've been a bit hit or miss, and one thing that's really defined them in their play, in the wins versus the losses, is the turnover trend. You look at their turnover margin in their losses last year, and it's not a number I'd love. losing the turnover margin by 5 a game in losses isn't great. But then you look at their wins, and even for a team that went 7-8 last year, they're still positive with a +2 turnover margin in their losses or in their wins, excuse me. So they're a team that when they can control possession is very capable of pulling some big wins. We were talking about it, Catherine. They had 2 ranked wins last year on the road at Trinity and at home against Bowdoin. So they're a very good team when they're on their game, but it's about possessions with them. And the other way that gets determined is on the draw circle. And I mean, there's disparity, and then there's whatever that stat line is. The draw stats in their losses last year, 45%, versus in their wins, they were at 62%, which is, if my math is right, Catherine, a 17% difference. That's a giant difference at this level. To put that in perspective, the Jumbos, who were the best draw control team in the NESCAC last year, won 60% of their draws. Con College in their wins was better than that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's going to be about the defense for this Con College team as well. We know they had a lot of turnover recently, so it'll be exciting to see what they put out to here today with relatively new goalie. She played only 20 minutes last season, so it'll be exciting to see her in her first full game for Con College.
I think we have to then, on the other, as we look at this Con College team, I think we have to give due respect to the one who probably should have been on an all-NESCAC team but wasn't in Kate Coughlin last year. She led that attack with 35 goals, picked up 19 ground balls to go with it, but really, she's been like that for 2 years now, has scored 65 career goals in her 2 years as a Camel, including 43 of those in NESCAC play. Last year, of her 35 goals, she scored 21 of them in their 7 wins. That's a hat trick average in their wins. So if they want to come in here and pull off a shock result today, they're going to need Kate Coughlin to go off.
Absolutely, but I think the Jumbo's coaches know that, and coming in here, they're not just looking at who won. They're looking at the stats. They're looking at this team as a whole, how they're going to play together, and they're going to attack appropriately.
I agree with that. So let's take a look at this Jumbos team here. A couple of last-minute changes to the starting lineup, but very similar to last year's starting lineup. Only 2 changes from the starting 11 that took the field in that NCAA quarterfinal against Franklin and Marshall. Nicola Donlin and Elsa Schutt into the starting lineup, replacing Catherine Fernandopole and Kate Dean. And it really is a luxury, Catherine, to bring back your starting 11 from a team that has made it all 3 years of the senior class to the NESCAC semis and the Elite Eight of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. And those 2 that we mentioned that aren't in their starting lineup right now is because they're just not starting today, but we will see them throughout the game, hopefully, and even throughout the season.
We're going to step aside for the national anthem. Stay with us. Welcome back here to Bello. Catherine, I mean, I think the most shocking thing that I've heard looking at every piece of information we've gotten over the last week or so as we've been getting ready for this game was the news we got out of Clinton, New York this morning with that Bates team destroying the Continentals 11-3. And I really think that shows you how you just can't take any expectations, can't make any assumptions about the NESCAC going into the season.
Yeah, absolutely not. The NESCAC is one of the few college level teams or leagues that you don't really know. All teams can be good no matter the season, no matter the day. We saw that last year as well with the men's lacrosse team. It really depends on the day, depends on the conditions, it depends on the mindset. So again, at the beginning of the season, it's a really exciting time to see where everybody's at, what people are thinking, what people are feeling.
For the second consecutive season, these two teams will open their seasons against each other. Last year, they faced off in New London in what was, well, a one-sided game.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see that even in Katie Coughlin's performance, scored 0 goals this game. One of their best scorers overall in Con College whole season. So excited to see who's back for redemption for this round.
It is. It is a chance for redemption for the Camels. It is a chance to finally achieve the goal that has been just outside of their grasp for this Jumbo's senior class. And when you look at these players who have been to the NESCAC title game twice, been to the NCAA Final Four twice, there is a discernible goal, and that is to put a number on a banner this year. And I think it starts, as much as that offense we talked about in the Open as ridiculous, and as good as that defense is, it starts in the midfield with the 2 fifth-years who came back in Emma Joyce and Madeline Delaney.
Yeah, they're going to make a big difference here on the field. I think not losing those players is going to have a huge impact on this team, you know, keeping with that starting 11. Really just builds the connections between people.
It'll be Jenna Gibbons on the draw for the Jumbos, facing off against Greta Pankey for the Camels. And that one won on the bounce there. Still being fought for and eventually scooped up by the Camels. And Sydney Weber going to look to go the other way. Camels will get the first offensive possession of the day with Elizabeth Gill. To the X now, that's Kay Coughlin. Up top now for Downey. Jumbo's in what looks to be some sort of zone here. Shutt forces it to the X and Coughlin. Little inside dodge. Delaney there on the slide. Summers out to press. 45 left to shoot for the Camels. Caroline Bruce working it. Shutt out to hound her. Swings it back to Campbell Johnson. Around the horn it goes. That one bounced down, but saved nicely there by Ognibe.
Tufts playing a pretty high press.
Downey looks to have a shot. Saved to Buren. And the Jumbos will look to go in transition. This is where they were so lethal a year ago. Cromwell picks her head up. Gibbons ahead to Carden. The Jumbos will get settled offensively. The usual offense with L'Esperance on the X to start things off. Worked around to Conahan. L'Esperance, head on a swivel. Saw the cut, couldn't quite find it. Joyce trying to scoop it and does. L'Esperance inside feed, caught, shot, and a save, and a beauty of one there by Ava Verga. That one dumped off. And up to pick it is Sydney Weber, but I think they're going to get a turnover. They are. A crease violation on the Camels will give the Jumbos possession behind the net. With a fresh 90. And already Courtney Shute, Catherine, giving instructions to L'Esperance to be a little more patient from the X.
It's hard, but the name of the game is to wait for that open cut to come to the middle. They were a little too quick on that first one there.
This time she works it outside to Zorn. Who will turn back. Joyce around the horn to Elsa Shutt. Now Carden GLE. Great defense from the Camels. Inside, caught Delaney. Bounces it, but it missed the cage. And the Camels survive yet another defensive stand.
Really good defense there by the Camels.
Weber leads the transition out. A spin there by Elizabeth Gill through 2. Trail check knocked it forward to Coughlin. Pankey up top. Hard drive. Skip to Coughlin, and the Jumbos will back down into the zone. That one behind, looking for Ogbin. And it'll be scooped up instead by Conahan, tracking back.
You always have to be on when you're on the attack, even when the ball's on defense.
Now they're in transition. Carden spins back left, draws the double. A great job from the Camels getting back into the settled set. Up top here for Grace Hammond. Down low feed, caught, spin, jump, Carden, missed it wide. It'll stay with the Jumbos.
Carden open in the middle there, not something you want if you're Con College.
Zorn cuts through 2, draws the double, almost got tripped up, but stays on her feet. Leslie to Hammond. Now Conahan, GLE works into the X. 40 to shoot. L'Esperance around the crease, bouncing around, and a third save already for the starting goalie, Ava Verga.
You can feel kind of the, not anxious, but almost anxious feel of the Jumbos, thinking that they would have scored by now with their 3 chances. I wonder what Courtney Shute is thinking right now.
I don't know what Courtney Schute's thinking, but what I'm thinking is Ava Verga, as that's a bad turnover. Jumbo's going to look to go. L'Esperance in on net. And another save by Verga. Catherine, why was she waiting till senior year to start?
That's a great question, Riley. I believe she's just a sophomore, though, so it is really just her 2nd year. Didn't get a lot of playing time, so might as well be her first. Playing astoundingly well here on Bello.
Yeah, 20 minutes of playtime last year, and then comes in, and, well, that's a great start. 4 saves on the first 4 shots she saw. And a little bit of energy around this Con College bench. Gill skipped up top there to Pankey. Jumbo's back in the zone. And that might be a card. It will be. It's going to be Caroline Cromwell for contact to the head, and the Jumbo's going to go woman down. And a 2-minute penalty there on Cromwell. And we'll see what the Jumbo's woman down unit looks like here.
Looks like they're going to stay in somewhat of a zone. I think that's a good choice for the Jumbos who have the zone defense down.
Con College bench screaming at their team to slow it down and use patience. On the X now. Up top to Pankey. Johnston. Good ball movement here. Downey now inside. That one's on the turf. Scooped up by Grace Hammond. And the Jumbo's going to look to run. Hammond in a little bit of trouble, but wisely just works it back to her defender in Nicola Donlin. And now the other Nicola, that's Summers. She's going to fly. And the Jumbos should be able to hold for all but 10 seconds of this woman down. We'll see if the Camels look to bring any sort of pressure to try and get the ball back while woman up. Instead, the Jumbo's going to look to score woman down. L'Esperance through 2, and finally gives the Jumbos the lead.
What a great shot. Even with woman down, they are able to dodge their way through that defense muddle.
Yeah,
find their way to the goal.
It was something that was a little bit of an issue for Con College last year in the woman up. They scored 10 goals in their 44 opportunities while conceding 5 to their opposition. And first woman up opportunity of 2025, they concede.
Yeah, that's something not a lot of people work on in practices and stuff. You know, you try to play your 7-on-7s. But the man up and man down positions are very important and are quite a great opportunity if you can utilize them like Tufts did, even though they were man down, woman down.
Same 2 back on the dot. Gibbons and Pankey. Gibbons shouting instructions to her team as they are still a woman down for the next minute. That one's spun out, controlled by Delaney. We'll see what the Jumbos look to do. Elsa Schutt had to keep herself on side so she couldn't go get that ball, but Carden able to scoop it up. Jumbos seem very patient right now, more than content to just see out this woman down. Hot potato being played around the perimeter.
Trying to run down this clock so they can go back to even.
Up top, Schutt. And a shooting space call. And really, for Conn College, after a really good start to the game, this woman up not going the way they would have wanted.
No, but center hash, one of the scariest hashes.
Shot center hash. 2-0.
No problem for the Jumbos. Another one finds the back of the net, and they are up 2-0.
And for Conn College, you just feel for them because 3 great defensive stands in a row. They had given up 4 shots and had every single one of them saved by Ava Verga as Conn College calls a timeout. And then on the woman up, they concede 2.
Yeah, kind of an odd, unexpected play of events. It's probably what their coaches have been talking about to them in this circle right now. They're playing high. They're playing energetically. They're fast on their feet. They just need to continue that and make sure they're not thrown off by the one less man.
Absolutely. I cannot agree with that more. I also think we talked about her so much in the open, but correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if Katie Coughlin has touched the ball today.
I haven't seen her touch the ball even, I mean, maybe when they're spinning it around in the attacking zone. But it hasn't really been in their attacking zone super a lot.
Yeah, as we look at some of these live stats so far, Jumbo's out shooting the Camels 7-1. We mentioned the 4 saves by Verga. And I think when we're looking at stats that help define the game, one that jumps out early on is the clears. Jumbo's 3 for 3 on the clear attempt. Conn College only 2 for 4.
Only 2 for 4. And as we were watching them warm up a little bit, you could tell that was an area they were trying to build up and work on more. As the first play of the game, they seemed a little nervous with a clear as they dropped the ball in the crease to be picked up. I'm curious to see if they're going to be working on that throughout the season. I know goalies without a lot of experience may not be comfortable clearing, especially against a team like the Jumbos that presses so high against the other team.
Yeah, the Jumbo's ride is something to behold. And I think for Conn College, what's important here is to get this draw control and at least get yourself into a settled set offense in the 9 seconds you have woman up so you can get a real 7-on-7 look that you really haven't had so far today.
I agree, but against Jenna Gibbons, her draw control is impeccable. She has almost always sent it right to either herself or her fellow attackman on the circle or midfielder on the circle.
We'll see if she can do it again, facing off against Pankey for a 3rd go. And she's going to get it to herself this time. Jumbos have 5-on-4 if they go. Conahan will work it to the X. Jumbo's back to full strength. Conahan draws 2 inside feed. Delaney. Oh, that is gorgeous.
That is what we're used to seeing for the Jumbos. It looks like nothing's changed over the past 7 months. Still doing those beautiful cuts, finding the back of the net. They have that chemistry that not all teams can say that they have, Riley.
I agree with that 100%, and we were wondering what it was going to take to wake up the Jumbo's offense. Not going to lie, did not think the trigger was going to be going woman down, but they did, and then they've scored 3 goals in 80 seconds.
To be fair, I'm not honestly surprised. The Jumbos seem to thrive when they're put in a underdog position. They kind of take it as a challenge, it almost looks like. And so they've showed us in the past fouls and even in this one, their beautiful cuts. They really have that team chemistry and the drive to want to win this game.
That one spun back into the Jumbo half, and a clamp called on the Jumbos. And for someone who was about 50% on the year from the draw last year, as a violation on the restart against the Camels.
Those aren't mistakes you can be making right now, Riley.
No, it's not. That's a 5th turnover already for the Camels.
That's one of the reasons the Jumbos are thriving so much. It's the little things, catching the ball, understanding the rules, and just making sure those parts of your games are good before transferring that to the more complex parts of the game.
Camels back in that zone. Zorn swings it back to L'Esperance. All sorts of trouble. Carden gets run over, and that'll be a free position.
Margie Carden with her first free position of the game.
Carden on that right hash. Drives in strong and gets nailed again. But they're going to say that one got the stick. And we'll see if Ava Verga can lead a successful clear here as the Jumbo's in a full-out ride. Downey back to collect, and she's going to look to run.
Her first big transition moment this game.
In a bit of trouble, is she? But able to get it ahead there to Caroline Bruce, and a successful clear for the Camels. Here is Coughlin. Around it goes to Johnston. That one bounced. Pankey able to save it. Good ball movement here for Conn College. Gale looking to do something. Instead, it'll send up top to Johnston. Jumbo's doing a good job just forcing it around the horn.
Yeah, watch how high they're sending them out.
Coughlin with 30 to shoot. Downey swings it back. Jumbo's caught in rotation, but able to slide back defensively. Coughlin again shut. And looks like there might be a free position there. It's going to be left hash here for Kay Coughlin. She was 5 of 9 from the free position last year. And she gives the Camels their first goal of 2025.
Yeah, looks like it's good excitement coming from Conn College's bench. Her first on the season, her first against Tufts as well, at least in the past 2 years. I'm sure she was waiting for that goal. First game of the season, first goal of the season. Exciting. Maybe that can help shift some momentum towards Conn College and kind of understanding the Tufts defensive mindset right now.
Jumbo's going to switch up the midfield a little bit here. It'll be Hammond and Skylar Lloyd with Gibbons. And some hard fighting before the draw. A one-hand attempt unsuccessful, and Gibbons gets the control. Jumbo's going with some speed. Lloyd. Now Lloyd again. Drives through 2. Now L'Esperance. Couple women hung up here for the Camels. Conahan wide open. Draws 2, whips it to the X. L'Esperance to Conahan. Denied by Verga.
Great save.
She's been phenomenal, has 6 saves here in this first quarter. Zorn, down low, hard cut. Lesperance's got it trail checked from her.
And whistle called, but on Tufts.
And then I think they might be getting a green card as well.
Nope, just
I think a clock reset.
clock troubles. Yeah, women's lacrosse. If you run into them, even if it looks like they're bashing you, it goes to the other team.
Downey looking to transition. Gill being chased step for step there by Leslie. Downey looking to create. Skips back to the X. Inside feed, hard cut, but she couldn't catch it. Jumbo's looking to go.
Great cut.
Donlin flying upfield. Now Conahan's got it. 5-on-4. That one behind Lloyd. Zorn should be able to keep it in play, but she's just going to run out of room first. And a little bit of sloppiness there from the Jumbos in transition.
Yeah, but our first really tactical mistake of the day for the Jumbos.
Hard ride now coming, and that's going to be a turnover. Where it would have been, but a ridiculous save there by Eliza Shama to keep it in play. We'll see if Verga can get it out. Couldn't get a clear clean. Picked up there by Hannah Merritt. Running into Lloyd, and that's going to be a green card on the Jumbos, who are going to go woman down again.
Not what they need right now either, but just 1 minute down for Skylar Lloyd. Can Conn College make something of this man-up situation?
More importantly, can they keep the Jumbos from doing anything in the woman down? Johnson with the clean clear into the offensive set. Lesperance over at the bench having a discussion with some of the coaches about that somewhat stagnant settled set offense. Pitch and catch here from the Camels.
They're starting to feel more comfortable, at least it looks like, with this Tufts defense and how high they're playing.
Finally going to get going with 20 left on the woman up. Whipped around to the GLE. Jumbo's caught out a bit. Johnston trying to draw the free position inside. Hard drive through 3, and a beautiful goal there by Emma Ognebe. A beautiful finish through some contact, and the Camels have cut it to 3-2.
3-2, their bench is going wild. This relatively small team compared to most of the NESCAC schools still showing up in a big way for their teammates, bringing the lead down to 1.
Yeah, the Camels might be the only team in the NESCAC where their bench has less players on it than they do on the field.
Yeah, but look at them go. It's working for them, and they have momentum right now. So curious to see where this will take them, as Jenna Gibbons is no longer taking the draw. It's Grace Hammond.
That's interesting. Grace Hammond wasn't really a draw taker much last year. Normally it would have been Elsa Schutt in that second draw control spot, but she's starting in the midfield today, so someone has to step up. We'll see how Hammond can do.
Yeah, especially as a sophomore. You know, maybe they're looking to get some more draw experience in more of the underclassmen positions.
Netta Leslie having a fight with Downey over there on the far side of the circle. And someone went early. It was Leslie. And some momentum really being felt by this Camels team, who have a chance to tie the game here in the last minute of the first quarter. Spin there by Gill. That one's on the turf. Hankey able to save it. Johnston going to work with 30 seconds left in the quarter. Now Coughlin. Dropped there by Downey. On the turf. Which way is it going? It'll be a foul on the Jumbos, but the Camels got to go. They got 10 seconds. Coughlin on the X. Whistle goes. I think she stepped out of bounds. That'll be how the first quarter ends. 3-2 Jumbos after one. Catherine, your thoughts on that first quarter?
Exciting first quarter. Jumbos were looking really good in the beginning, and Con College, had a few things to work out as they were getting comfortable with, Tufts' high press defense. But they fell in it, and especially the great saves by Ava Verga allowed them to kind of start from the back and really attack this Jumbos defense with bringing the score from 3-0 to 3-2.
We're going to step aside momentarily. Be back with you in a minute. To Bellow Field. Riley Daniel joined by Catherine Burns and now Micah Baum. Micah, I mean, we saw really when Con College turned it on. It was in large part thanks to Downey and her ability to lead the transition. She's really been an integral part of this Camels team.
100%, especially after last year. They only had 2 players getting all NESCAC recognition. One of those graduated in Violet Mids. We've seen Ava Verga really step up in goal to replace her, but Downey is really replicating her form from last year. 24 goals, 17 assists. That 17 assists puts her 8th in the NESCAC in terms of per game in conference play. She's also a prolific draw controller, 3rd all-time in the Camels history for draw controls at 132, and that count is rising today.
Definitely seems like it. And there's another one you were mentioning in the halftime as the goal scorer and really someone who had a great performance against the Jumbos last year.
100%. Emma Ognabeni came on last year as a sub, made 15 sub appearances for the Camels. She's still in that role today, but in that time she got 10 goals, 4 assists. 3 of those goals were in the opening game of the season against Tufts. Note that they were down 13-1 at the time of her first goal in that game. She's really made an impact early and often here to make sure that this game is very tight going into second.
I can tell you they will not be down 13-1 today as Gibbons gets another draw control herself.
Con College showing some really strong press here.
They are. Gibbons in a bit of trouble. Spins it back to Elsa Schutt. Starting lineup back on the field for the Bows. L'Esperance on the X, whips it inside, hard cut, and it pops right back to L'Esperance. Now Zorn will try. And something called, looks like it might have been a hold. But it's going to yield a free position for Caroline Conahan, who was the most efficient from the 8-meter spot last year of all the Jumbos. Conahan, hard drive, gets a look, gets a shot, gets a goal.
Good left-handed shot there. Sometimes that hash can be hard with the angle, but she executed that perfectly.
Really did. Just great drive, head down the whole way, knew what she was doing. And as good as Virga's been, that location's just, you're not getting to it.
Yeah. Tough one to save there for Virga, but good comeback by Tufts. They're looking very competitive right now. Both teams are really in it and showing that either one of them could win this game.
I think one really interesting thing is that we highlighted that three-headed monster at the start of the game. Margie Carden and Ali Zorn have been essentially shut down, but they've still managed to find those goals from elsewhere, from midfielders, from other attackers. Lesperance obviously getting on the score sheet earlier.
Yeah, no goals yet from Carden or Zorn, but one each from Delaney, Lesperance, Conahan, and Shutt.
Gibbons back on the draw.
Downey nearly knocked it free from her, but Delaney scoops it up. Jumbo starting to assert themselves in the draw circle. Zorn GLE. Jumbo's playing at almost half speed right now. Just waiting, looking for opportunities.
Sooner or later, there will be one.
Back to Lesperance, up top, Carden catches, draws three. Backs out. Now Conahan. Lesperance inside, Zorn catches, shoots, and denied by Virga.
Con College has done their homework there, shutting down Margie Carden every single chance that they get. Not really letting Zorn have any chances either, as Micah was discussing earlier.
Being able to rotate that effectively on the back end is so impressive so far, as they've only conceded 4.
Johnston leading the transition for the Camels. Coughlin's moved to the X now here to start the second quarter. As Downey's popped up top. Coughlin against Cromwell, who's already on a yellow. Bene, and think they're going to get a push on the Jumbos to keep possession here with the Camels. Bene against Donlin, draws the slide. Great help there from Emma Joyce. Gill trying to go around the crease. Back to Coughlin. Up top, and something called. Unclear what it is. Looks like it's going to be an 8-meter here up top for Greta Pankey.
Hard to say what that call was on, as she was holding a yellow flag.
Yeah, I almost thought I was watching a guys game for a second with the flag. Pankey in hard, bounced it wide. It'll stay with the Camels. They got 9 to shoot. They're going hard. Coughlin tried to roll the crease, but a good job there waiting on her was Cromwell. Skip pass, Johnston. 4, 3, 2. Something's wrong with the shot clock. That's a Gilman, and the Jumbos forced the turnover.
You have to wonder what was going through Johnston's head there. She had the space to take the shot, but just took 1 second too long, and 1 second is way too long in lacrosse.
I don't know if Johnston was aware of the shot clock in the way that the Jumbos bench was screaming it out to their defenders. Gibbons puts that one on the turf, but able to stay with it. We'll see if the Jumbos can maybe get Margie Carden going. As you both have mentioned, has been virtually non-existent in the first 20 minutes of this game. Here she is up top. Lesperance to Zorn, draws 2. That's a shooting space call.
High lacrosse IQ right there. 2 defenders on her. Fake the shot, get the shooting space.
We'll see what Zorn looks to do. She might look to dump this off, reset the attack from the center as a tight angle here. She tried to pass it middle, and it ended up in Ava Verga's stick.
Good read there by Con College.
This is the one place we've seen Verga struggle consistently in the clear. This time she gives it to Weber, knocks free by Cardin. Weber able to get it back, spins through two, and a great solo clear by Weber who gets it ahead to Bruce. Gill draws the double on the X. Bounced it, Downey lost the ball, scooped up, but they're going to get what looks to be a slash there on Leskin. Courtney Shute not happy about it. And it really is becoming a factor, Catherine, that's Jumbo's press defensively.
Yeah, not all teams can have the agility and stamina and strength to be pressing the way that these Jumbos are. They are on every woman who has this ball, no matter where they are on the field. Really impressive by the Jumbos.
Pankey got inside position on Gibbons. Jumbo's caught in rotation, but able to recover once again. 15 to shoot for the Camels. Inside feed, Pankey cuts hard, shoots, and scores in midair.
That's a brilliant pass there from Elizabeth Gill. She's been something of a surprise here. She's been really dangerous for the Camels. Only had 5 starts last year in the first 5 games of the season. She got 5 goals, 3 assists in those 5 games. So now that she's back into the rotation, you can see the difference she's making. That was a brilliant setup there.
Yeah, you could tell Con College was just waiting for the right moment. They've kind of felt out this Jumbo's defense, like we were talking about how different it is from most teams that they're going to see in the NESCAC. They were waiting for their opportunity and they could pounce, and they did.
Gotta say, through 21 minutes of this game, don't think anyone would have thought that the 3 goals from the Camels seems about what we would have expected, but I don't think if you had told us that 20 minutes in the game the Jumbos would be held to 4, I necessarily would have believed it.
No, and that's thanks to Ava Verga again, that goalie we can't stop talking about.
Can't stop talking about her because she's now up to 7 saves on the day.
This point in the game last year, the game was 7-1 in favor of the Jumbos.
Jumbo's looking to run here. And again, they slow it down, and I'm starting to wonder if they might need to play, even in the settled set, at a little bit of a faster speed. L'Esperance on the X as they run across. Finds Cardin, hard catch, through 2, shoots, and scores.
That's the Cardin we're used to seeing, Riley. Getting the goals. She's back on the board, even with 3 men on her. She delivers.
And it's what you were talking about with those cross cuts that we really saw a little bit of, but hadn't seen a ton of. Once they went to them there on that possession, the Camels were all sorts of dazed and confused.
Yeah, absolutely. In the beginning, Margie was hanging out in the middle a little bit, you know, making some space for some of her other teammates to score at the start of the game, and now she's doing the scoring.
L'Esperance with the assist. She led the NESCAC in assists last year with 48. Gibbons back out on that draw circle, has done all but 1 today. Almost lost it there. And Weber with the draw control for the Camels. She's going to look to fly. Gill will take it to the X and get set up. Camels making some substitutions, getting their offensive personnel on the field. Coughlin, hard drive to the net, and scores.
Talk about a response. Individual brilliance there from Kay Coughlin.
You can feel the excitement from Con College's bench. There are some slight changes you can see on the draw circle with some more aggression from Con College. And you can see Courtney Shute not sure what's happening. Needs to address this with her Jumbos, kind of reassess the situation and change some things up.
I mean, now you're looking at the scoreboard. The Camels have scored 4. They scored 4 in the entirety of the game last year, and the Jumbos have only managed 1 more than that. And this is only like 7 minutes into the second quarter. There is so much more lacrosse to be played. If you're a Camels fan, this is a massive opportunity to put yourself on the map.
It is. We've already seen one NESCAC team that had a really less than stellar 2024 put themselves on the map today in the Bates Bobcats. And this Camels team, really, they're showing up in ways we didn't see them play last year. It's save after save, and it's running in transition the way they just couldn't a year ago.
Yeah, they also have a little bit more pep in their step is the word I'm going to use. They're a little faster on their feet, jumping to the ball more quickly. You know, those 50-50 balls are truly 50-50 now, whereas in the past they've been a little bit favored towards the Jumbos.
You know, first game of the season, you could either look at that as you have a chance to take all of your new fresh energy you've been rested for the entire offseason, or it could be a moment where you haven't been in practice as much. Maybe you aren't as conditioned, and that's not to say anything about either team, but at the moment, you would have to say that Con College are looking to be on the better side of that.
Yeah, they came into this game prepared, that's for sure.
The one spot they could look to improve on is in the draw circle. Jumbo's 6 of 10 there on the day. Elsa Shuck going to take this draw. This was a change we saw Courtney Shute make in that NCAA game against Cortland last year. When Gibbons was struggling, Shutt came in, went 21 of 25 from the draw circle. Let the Jumbos run away with that one. Delaney, hard drive through everyone off the post.
Unlucky there.
Scooped back up by Shutt, so the Jumbos will settle up. Now Leslie on the field in the offensive half for the first time today. The first year with high expectations from Coach Courtney Shute. L'Esperance, head on a swivel. Skips it up top. Shutt through 2, gets hacked, and that's going to be a card. The question is what color?
I'm saying yellow.
Oh, it
Yeah,
definitely
that's
wasn't going to be
yellow.
green.
Oh, I was debating between yellow and red.
I agree with that.
You have to be careful in women's lacrosse with the eye goggles and no helmet, you know, up here in Massachusetts. You have to be careful. If you go anywhere near the head, that will be a foul. You know, we want to protect these players' safety.
We'll see if Elsa Shutt looks to bring this one back out, get the offensive set settled with the woman up, or if she takes advantage of being straight on with the free position. She takes it, bounces it, and it goes right to L'Esperance. Up top, here's Leslie. And the Jumbos will get to work, woman up. Zorn draws the slide. Shutt up and under. Draws the double, wheels back out, and I think it's going to be another free position for Elsa Shutt. One for 2 on the day from the free position is 33. And this time, Wisely wheels back out to restart the woman up offense. Here's Leslie. Handoff Zorn. ISO play for her. Draws 2. Skips it. Shutt. Inside feed. Tick, tack, goal, L'Esperance.
That's why you practice quick sticks in practice. Opportunities like that. If she had taken a cradle, defense would have been on her in half a second. The fact that she can have that ball control, have that awareness, have that lacrosse IQ to just not even need a cradle and shoot that goal.
And the quickness across the arc, back, forth, and again, Camels just didn't know what hit them. They could not handle speed like that.
Couldn't, and really, the first time we've seen the Jumbos be patient, but not too patient. They waited, and as soon as the Camels overcommitted, they made them pay. Shut back in the draw circle with Delaney, and this time Gibbons with her in the midfield. Spun back. Jenna Gibbons with her third draw control of the day. And then gets shoved, and that's going to be another card. This one going to belong to Andy Downey.
Another man up possession for one more minute. Let's see if the Jumbos can capitalize on this second man up opportunity.
Con has really struggled with power play opportunities, especially last year in conference. They didn't score a single woman down goal in the entire season. They only scored 5 in woman up possessions of their own.
And discipline was a problem for Con College last year. Averaged 4.4 cards a game. Already have 2 in a span of about 2 minutes here in the second quarter. Same unit back to work. Zorn. Spins it to Leslie. Now it's Conahan on the X. Up top, shut. Ducks up and under. Zorn. Cradles and swings it. Lesperance inside. High catch, shut. Denied by Virga.
Great save there. I couldn't even see where the ball was going.
It was going to the top corner, but Ava Virga had better ideas. And now a hard run here by Sydney Weber to clear it for the Camels. And they should be able to just about see off this woman down as they now get back to full strength. Every time the Jumbos have scored here in this second quarter, the Camels have responded within about 90 seconds. We'll see if they can do it again. Around it comes here. Downey thought about Gill. Instead, he'll go the other way to Johnston. Cradling up top, going back and forth before whipping it to Downey, who gets a step. Look, denied to Buren. And now the Jumbos are going to look to run. Gibbons ahead to Margie Carden.
She's got room.
She does, and she takes it. Drawing 2 on her immediately, but a good transition defense from the Camels forces them to the X. Now it's Grace Hammond playing with Emma Joyce in the midfield. As Zorn calls out a play. Here she is, cutting in from the left. Wants to get it to Conahan, but nothing there. Instead, it'll come to Joyce on the right side. Whip to the X, Lesperance. Dropped it. And a really uncharacteristic turnover for Lesperance.
Quick word on Virga. She's had 8 saves so far. That could be a...
That's going to be a card on Margie Carden.
In the meantime, as she's replacing Violet Nids, who, as we said, received all NESCAC All-Region honors last year. The most saves she made in the game last year was 14. Virga's on course for 16 today.
And while you were saying that, Micah, an interesting note. That was not a green card, but a yellow for Margie Carden.
Yeah, it makes sense. You got to be careful with these pushes again. Women's lacrosse is all about safety. It's not something you can do. The full extension of the arms is what called that for the yellow.
See what the Jumbos can do in the woman down. It was lethal in the first quarter. Not so much here in the second. Solo clear attempt here from Hannah Merritt, and she'll get it across the timeline. 3 minutes to play in the first half. 6-4 Jumbos. Campbell's looking to answer once again. Gill, jump shot over everyone, will stay with the Camels. Jumbos kind of got lucky there. She rolled the crease almost unguarded.
Not an area you can leave a woman open.
Johnston looking to go to work. Downey. Skip pass, missed everyone, and a poor turnover from the Camels. And they got 3 behind the ball right now as the Jumbos look to run despite being woman down. Cromwell sees Conahan ahead of her. 75 on the shot clock, 53 on the woman down. And it looks as if the instructions from the bench might be to play a little bit of keep away until Margie Carton can get back on the field.
Wise choice.
The L'Esperance doesn't like it. Tried to play Zorn. That one's on the turf. That's a dangerous challenge from Emma Joyce, who is going to also see a card. This one green.
The refs seem a little bit uncertain about that call. It's, it was kind of a jumble of bodies there, but not a position the Jumbos want to be in right now. 2-man down. 26 left on that first one for Margie Carton. Defense is going to have to put in that extra work right now to make up for these fouls.
Big opportunity for Conn College to get back in this game. Johnson slices through.
A little bit of confusion with...
Yeah, I don't know what Skylar Lloyd's doing. She needs to be back defensively. Downey shoots. And for all that Annie Downey was last year, that time she kind of bailed the Jumbos out. Carden back on the field, so the Jumbos only one woman down. And they'll just look to hold on to the ball. Shot clock, game clock within a second of each other. Joyce will be back on the field within 10 seconds as Ali Zorn takes a walk with the ball. Joyce back in. We're back to full strength. 45 seconds to go in the first half.
Can the Jumbos score in these last 30 seconds?
L'Esperance draws the woman up top. Zorn. Conahan. Shooting space called. From the far right, Caroline Conahan. Already scored one free position shot today. This time works it out to Joyce, who cuts through everyone and finishes.
And that's big. That is big because the Jumbos have not been able to pull away by more than 2 goals yet until now. And now really becomes a big hole for Con to dig themselves out of.
The momentum, it was there for Con to take it, and the Jumbos just snatched it back.
That's the momentum you want to have going into the half. Good choice not to go for that free position there and instead pass it off. Good team play right there.
Really good first half from Caroline Conahan. A goal and 2 assists. Leads all scorers with 3 points. 17 to go here in this first half. Plenty of time for either team to get a look if they can get a clean draw win. Straight up, one cleanly by Pankey. She's got 10 seconds to go. Gill, inside cut, hard drive. Joyce forces her to turn with 5. Camel's up top. They're not going to get a shot before the buzzer sounds. That'll end the first half. And we go to the halftime break with the Jumbos taking a 7-4 lead. Micah, your thoughts?
I mean, it's been such a spirited display by the Con College Camels, but now they really need to reset and make sure they can come out with the same energy in the third quarter that they did in the first, because that was really something that threw the Jumbos off. They just managed to find their rhythm towards the end, but Con, if they can get back to what they were doing best at the start of this game, can still keep this one close.
Well, we'll be back with you in 10 minutes for the second half. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back here to Bellow Field, start of the second half. 7-4 Jumbos. Riley Dano joined by Catherine Burns and Ria Justy. Ria, we'll start with you. Ava Verga, what a story in that first half. Just a phenomenal performance. What are your thoughts on her in her first career start?
I thought she was absolutely incredible in that first half. I mean, with her 8 saves, that was incredible, considering she only had 20 minutes of playtime her freshman year. So she has clearly improved significantly towards her sophomore year for the Camels.
Catherine, as we talk about improvement, let's talk about Elsa Shutt, who was really a only draw-focused player last year before really stepping into a bigger role offensively today.
Yeah, I agree. I would argue that she's becoming more of a draw taker as well. I think we can see Courtney shoot, if less of Jenna Gibbons is taking the draw unless it's a bad day. It's more of a they can both take the draw when they want, how they want, and I think that's working better for them. I think having that flexibility between two, like most teams barely have one person good at the draw. The fact that they have 2 people capable of taking the draw and winning the draw is very impressive, especially with the way that they're able to angle their draw to send it to their player. Lots of little fights on the circle, not huge, but definitely a little bit getting a little bit testy out there as we come into the second half.
I agree, and a really balanced attack from the Jumbos in that first half. Only Ella Esperance with 2 goals, as 6 different Jumbos scored in that first half. But surprisingly, only 1 from Margie Carden and not a single point from Allie Zorn in that first half. As we get set for the second half, Gibbons back out against Pankey. And a violation against the Jumbos. It's the 3rd time today they've gotten called for going early.
I think it has to do with the tension around the circle, starting really back behind the circle to try to get a good position out of the midfielders.
Downey put it on the turf. Almost scooped it up, but it'll come to Caroline Cromwell. Jumbos all sorts of running. Carden picks her head up. 5-on-4. Gives it to Zorn. She couldn't get it as a great defensive trail check by Sydney Weaver.
Yeah, great read on that defensive play.
Lewandowski gets it ahead, and Pankey will take it across into the offensive zone. Coughlin wheels it back to Downey. Now Johnson works it through Bruce. Benny up top to Johnston. Jumbos once again out in that really high press zone. Downey. Delaney pops on the slide. Johnston. Con College fans wanted a shooting space call, didn't get it. Downey draws the slide from Delaney. Backs out, skip past GLE. And finally a whistle blown. It's going to be a free position. Unclear who was on.
Looks like Jenna Gibbons.
Betty here. Hard drive right, shoots and scores. Puts that one in the back of the net. Her 2nd of the day. Her 5th in 2 years against the Jumbos.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. I think Tufts is a little bit shocked about that. I'm a little bit shocked at DeBuren's playing today so far. I know they've been kind of faced with a few tough shots, but want to see some more saves out of her.
Got to agree with that. Only 3 saves on 8 shots faced from Pascal DeBuren, and you wonder, does Courtney Shute think about a goaltender change with Sophie Palace on the bench ready to go?
Yeah, it's a great question, especially at the beginning of the season. There's a lot of factors, there are a lot of emotions, and tensions are high. I think I would be curious to see how all of my goalies are playing right now. Different story, though, with Con College, as they only have one goalie, the goalie currently in the net on their roster.
Yeah, Rhea, your thoughts about that? Just only one goalie on a roster feels like a disaster waiting to happen in terms of just logistics.
That's definitely a risky position to be put in, but I think Ava Verga has definitely proved herself, and hopefully nothing goes wrong on her end because she's definitely been a great goalkeeper so far with her 8 saves compared to Pascal de Buren's 3 saves.
Agreed, and that's not for a lack of shots by Con College.
Zorn on the GLE. Forced off it. Now Conahan on the X. Behind L'Esperance, they were not on the same page, but a hold called against the Camel is going to bail the Jumbos out.
Looks like it will be a free position for L'Esperance.
L'Esperance from the right hash. Skips it to the X. Zorn now. Leshley to Zorn. Now Conahan looking to roll the crease. Up top, L'Esperance couldn't get it. On the turf, scooped up by Carden with 25. Had Zorn, didn't see her. Skipped all the way up top to shut. Now 15 with Conahan. L'Esperance going to have to create. Looks to roll the crease. Draws a double. Back on the turf. That's a turnover forced there by Eliza Shema.
Jumbos will try to win it back, but not quite.
Hannah Merritt now leading the clear. Flying up are the Camels. Hankey turned it over. Donlin in some trouble. She gets it ahead to Summers as the Jumbos go in hockey-style line change. Kate Mastrobuono on the field for her first time today. See if she can be used to help break down this Camel zone. Sophia Claps on the field as well. So the midfield now, Claps, Hammond, and Lloyd with Emma Joyce. Mastrobuono with Carden and Zorn. The attack unit, L'Esperance going to get a rest. Joyce up top. Now Mastrobuono. Surveys. Skips it. Zorn couldn't corral it cleanly, but will get it back. Now it'll be Hammond's turn to run. Emma Joyce on the right side. Gets a step. Draws the slide. Mastrobuono on the X. Back to Joyce. That ball. And a charge called, I believe. Oh, no. That's a bit of a bailout call there for the Jumbos.
Yeah, they got lucky on that one. You can't run into people like that, but she was also hit quite a few times, so she gets the free position.
Emma Joyce. Center left. Finishes.
That was a textbook free position. 2 cradles and a shot. That's what we want to see from these center to middle hash. Or center to left and right of the center.
And it kind of is the untold story of this Jumbos team. Time and time again, when they're in need of someone to step up, it is so often Emma Joyce who steps up in pivotal moments.
Now the question is, how will Con College come back at this goal? As we've seen before, they just come back hungrier every single time the Jumbos score a goal. We have a new draw taker. It is now number 17, Annie Downey for Con College.
Downey was quite good from the draw circle last year, had 49 draw controls. Almost got that one herself. Still on the turf. And Lloyd will get it on a third try. Cromwell picks her head up. Jumbo's looking to run again. Hammond. Numbers now.
Jumbo circling it around the 8.
Zorn calling out a play. Swings it back to Carden. Inside, Zorn backs down 2. It's spun free. Mastrobuono on the X. Inside, hard roll, and that is so good from 36.
Absolutely. We saw in that play there, first the defense kind of crowded in the middle, and when they spread out, she took that opportunity to roll the crease, fake a shot, and eventually the ball went in the back of the net. Great first goal of the season for her.
Yeah, really great from Kate Mastrobuono, and that's not something we saw a lot last year. She was very good as a distributor, good as a finisher, but she didn't have that creative aspect to her game that we showed there.
Yeah, I think she's just gaining confidence as her years go on here.
Jumbos have pushed their lead to 4. Rhea does feel like for the first time in a long while they do have a sense of momentum.
I agree. I feel like towards the beginning of the first half, the Jumbos were a little shaky as Connecticut College was really taking on the lead. But I feel like they've finally gotten their rhythm in the second half with that score.
Weber with another draw control. We'll see if the Camels can answer. And this is where you would expect Kate Coughlin to step up. She has 2 on the day, but otherwise has been almost silent. Here she is, working against Nicola Summers. Jumbos, I swear, every possession, Catherine, are pushing this zone further and further out.
Absolutely. That is the whole goal of the zone defense. They're getting in Con College's head. At the beginning of the game, Con College knew how to address this, but they are not wearing down Tufts defense. The stamina on this team is incredible, Riley.
Downey looking to create. Now Johnston. Jumbo's more than content to shuffle their feet. Ognabene looking to get a look. That's a shooting space call, and she'll have a free position with a chance to get a hat trick. It's going to be center hash for Emma Ognabene. Hard drive. That one left out of her stick. Which way is it going? It's jumbo ball.
Good work by Emma Joyce there. Got her stick in the way.
Nicola Summers is running, and anyone who's been on Bello before knows that sight. Shoot wanted a green card, not getting it. As the Jumbos will get into the settled set again, looking to push this lead to 5. Sun starting to crawl out here in this March afternoon. Zorn calling out a play. Sophia Claps going to work. Skips it to Carden. Up top, Zorn spins, rolls, inside. Carden got shoved, and that's going to be a free position. We'll see if a card comes.
I don't think that's going to give her a card, Riley. I think she'll get left of center hash. And we'll see if she takes this one or decides to dump it.
I'm pretty sure Margie Carton's shooting this one.
You're probably right. What's she at, 198?
198. And it'll stay there as a good save there by Verga to tip that one past the post. Inside feed. Carden catches behind the back. Come on!
Holy moly.
Wait. What's the call here? Are they wiping that away?
A card coming out.
A yellow on who? I believe it's on Downey.
So what does that mean? The goal doesn't count, Riley?
The goal will count because it's on Downey. And we'll see what the call is for here. Downey's going to get a card for the check to the head that happened while Margie Carden was going behind the back to get it past Verga.
There she is, 199. We were talking about that earlier.
She's proved time and time again to be a great attackman for the Jumbos, especially as she widens the gap between Tufts and Connecticut College.
Magic number now at 1 for Margie Carden to become the first ever Jumbo to cross the 200 goal plateau. And it will be Jumbo ball because of that card. So they will get the ball in the woman up here as they look to put this game on ice.
$199, and this is just the start of the season, first game. Quite an incredible player, Margie Carden.
And I believe an offside called on the Camels will send them 2 women down. And, I mean, we talked about it in the first half. The Camels' problems last year with discipline, averaging 4.5 cards a game. They got 4 in the first 40 minutes of this one.
Yeah, that's again one of the smaller things that you have to work on. You know, cards can show you're playing aggressive, but it's for something like offsides, you got to be really careful with those.
Jumbo's going to work here. Leshley. Here's Carden as the sun suddenly bright as can be. Mastrobano up top. Gets it right back. Drives hard. Spins. Shoots. Saved by Verga.
That was some really good defense by Verga. She's shown time and time again throughout this game.
Yeah, especially coming into this game with not a lot of minutes behind her. Being able to step out to a player like Kate Mastrobuono is something not a lot of people can do.
Camel's able to clear it. They will likely be able, if they can hold the possession, to kill off both of these penalties. Jumbo's going to bring a heavy ride. Use the restraining line as an extra defender. An all-out chase. Camel's in trouble. And a great work there by Camel Johnson to keep possession. That one knocked down, though. Delaney scoops it up. Takes a hard fall. Jumbos will possess. Camels all sorts of caught out here. 4-on-3 the other way. And Zorn decides to slow things down. Get into the settled set. 1 woman up. All sorts of communication problems between the Jumbo's bench and their attack women. Camels back to full strength. Jumbos did not really get a look, despite being 2 women up.
Well, you know, Riley, they like to be even when they score.
Claps. Skips to Mastrobano. Now it's Margie's turn to work. Shut GLE. Mastrobano up, under. Spins, draws a double, skips it to Zorn. Skip pass through, everyone caught Carden, and it's knocked out of her hands.
Carden a little bit slow to get up there. She got knocked pretty hard.
Zorn tried to knock it free, but a successful clear for the Camels. Or it looked like it was going to be until Bruce decided to take an extra lap, almost put it away. Camels have not scored in the last 10 minutes of this game. Downey swinging around. Hard spin there by Agnabede. Inside feed. Justin couldn't corral it. Everyone searching for that ball. And it'll be scooped up by Caroline Bruce. Inside feed back. Coughlin couldn't control it. Ognebenes shot it. And I believe a free position coming for the Camels. It will belong to Kate Coughlin, right of center.
Adding to her tally to start this season if she makes this.
Shoots and scores. Coughlin with a hat trick, and the Camels are back in it.
Yeah, great look there. They have been capitalizing off of these free positions that they've been getting against the Jumbos. That is one of the small things they're doing incredibly well today.
And a beautiful goal there for Coughlin with the hat trick there. She becomes the first player on either side to get the hat trick on the day, as the Jumbo is going to make a line change in the midfield. And it really is interesting, Catherine, these midfield rotations. No line with Joyce and Delaney playing together since the opening draw.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I did not notice that. Yeah. I wonder if reasoning or that just is happening. These midfielders have been running a lot today. They've been pressing, they've been attacking, they've been doing it all. So glad some of them can at least catch their breath.
That one spun back, controlled by Pankey. Ahead there to Downey. Camel's looking for 2 in a row here. Have not done that since the 2 goals they scored at the end of the first quarter. Now to the X and Coughlin. Good ball movement here from the Camels, but not getting any penetration. It'll be Johnston's turn to work on ISO. Tries to get around Cromwell, who forces her back. Skipped up top. Pankey. Spins to nowhere. Now Downey will take her turn. Against Hammond. Tries the face dodge and the spin. Shoots it wide. It'll stay with the Camels, 25 to shoot.
The Jumbos really did, though, show their great defense with that one, as they gave the Camels a hard time.
Johnston. Swings it around. 10 to shoot. Pankey gonna have to create. Coughlin at the GLE with 5. Knocked free, and that'll kill out the shot clock. Jumbo's running, and they have all sorts of numbers. Looks to be about a 7-on-4. Zorn to Cardin to the GLE, and the Jumbos have to work faster there. Zorn will back it out. Shot clock will not be a factor the rest of this quarter. Mastrobano works it back to Zorn, gets it right back with the give and go. Courtney Shute yelling at her team to move the ball. Claps to Cardin on the X. Mastrobano up and under. Inside, Cardin almost corralled it. Claps will scoop it up with 30. Zorn now. Down low. Reverse shot just missed there by Lloyd. 20 to go. Inside feed. This time, Lloyd not messing around.
There's the speed you were talking about, Riley. They capitalized there with their catching the defense off guard. I do want to talk about the Tufts defense for a little bit. That possession there that caused the goal over on the other side, they ran out the shot clock through their defense. Although they did not get a turnover, they wore down both Con College and the shot clock. Most coaches would have maybe changed up the defense by now in this game with the ways that Con College have penetrated their defense. But they keep the high press, they keep the high attack, and it's working for them. They have the stamina, they have the strength to do a defense like that. And props to the Tufts defense for keeping it up and kind of influencing the goal that just happened there.
Gibbons back out on the draw circle against Pankey. 15 seconds left here in this third quarter. Clean control by Lloyd. We'll see what the Jumbos can do with 10. Claps inside feed. Camel shoots. Save there with the outstretched glove of Verga. Inside feed. Almost found shot. And another save by Verga as the clock expires. We're going to see what they call. I thought the clock had expired before that crossed the goal line.
Tufts looked like they had celebrated, though, like it was a goal. College looked as if they had celebrated like it was a save.
We're going to step aside here momentarily. When we come back, we'll tell you what they ended up calling and give you the fourth quarter live from Bello. Stay tuned. Welcome back here to Bello Fields. Fourth quarter about to start, and we do have confirmation, Rhea. They did not give that goal. It did cross the line, but after triple zeros had hit the clock. So another save there for what has become a ridiculous performance in net from Ava Verga.
I mean, she has definitely been a standout for the Connecticut College Camels, and I can't wait to see what she's going to do next towards this last quarter.
I mean, Micah, you were mentioning it. We were talking about College and their goalkeepers last year. Had a all-region honorable mention nominee, but her high in terms of saves in a game was 14. Berger could hit that today.
Yeah, Berger is currently sitting at 9. So with the Jumbos looking at where they are, they're still going to keep going at this rate. So she could well hit that mark, if not surpass it.
Very well could. And the Jumbos finally seem to have found their offense in that third quarter as they really were able to stick it to the Camels, going on a 4-0 run across, or excuse me, a 4-1 run across the final 14 minutes of that quarter.
It's a brutal one because if you look at the quarter breakdown, the Jumbos won both the second and the third quarters by the same margin, 4-2. But this one feels much more definitive.
It does. They've won all 3 quarters. Camels have scored 2 in each. Gibbons back on the draw circle. Still no LL Esperance on the field here. Spawn and an infraction again against Jenna Gibbons, who, other than that, has been borderline perfect today, but 4 infractions on the draw control. We're were talking in that third quarter, Micah, about this Jumbo's defense and how they are just hounding the Camels as we see it yet again on this possession.
It's even more impressive when you consider they're missing their All-American defender, Catherine Fernanda-Boulay. And you have looking at the scoreboard, you might say that she has her absence has been felt, but even so, you can see the discipline, the work rate is not lacking without her there.
They're missing their All-American defender in Fernanda Poli. They're also missing their honorable mention All-American midfielder, Kate Dean, who is probably their best defensive midfielder. Coughlin gets a step, but Summers waiting with her and able to recover using those long arms. Coughlin inside cut. And I think they're going to get a fresh 90 here for the Camels. They are. An infraction there on Nicholas Summers. It'll be a 60. My apologies.
That's the one thing that Nicholas Summers' frame isn't best for, is that quick turn of pace, and Coughlin had her beat, just couldn't have the angle on the goal. De Buren had it covered.
And we talked about this just a talent as Johnson makes an inside cut and scores. And this Jumbo's team, for all the talent they've kept over the years, their biggest weapon is what they were able to add last year in Nicola Summers.
Nicola Summers, she's been such a standout on Bello in both the fall and the spring. Recently, she just joined the lacrosse team as a senior and became a standout on one of the best lacrosse teams in the country. She was already a standout on one of the best women's soccer teams in D3 as well. And her versatility has just been so good to see, but her defensive unit has let her down a bit there with that one letting in from Coughlin.
There's a real question. I'd have to go back through the record books, but if Nicholas Summers were to get an All-NESCAC award in lacrosse, I believe she might be the first multi-sport All-NESCAC athlete since Casey D'Onofo. As Elsa Shutt in on the draw for this one. Delaney wins the hustle and controls the ball. And she can run. Jumbos will get settled in the settled set. Carden continues to play on the X. Delaney and Joyce back out there together for the first time since the first quarter. Zorn, little stutter step. Now Clapp's going to work. Inside cut, draws two. Up top, little high for Joyce, who has to go recover it. Now Carden on the GLE. Draws two, swung back to Mastrobuono. Around the horn, it keeps going. Zorn inside, Delaney, and that one was blown up. It'll stay with the Jumbos. Might have been a save there by Verga. Inside, Carden draws a double. Camels with their best defensive possession of the half so far. Zorn on the X. Finds Joyce coming down Main Street. Off the post. Fresh 60.
Zorn just cannot get a point today. She's been still so involved, but has yet to get a goal or an assist.
And my apologies, that was not off the post. That was another Ava Verga save, who now has 11. Mastrobuono now finds Zorn, and this time she gets a point, Micah.
There's that commentator blessing. Ali Zorn finally in the right place at the right time with the right finish. And from that position, a player of her quality, you would always expect her to finish that.
Another great feed there from Mastrobuono, using that height to just see over the defense and find the wide open Zorn, cutting to put it in the back of the net. A first goal on the season for Zorn. Mastrobuono with her second assist of the day.
I think at this point, if you're Con College, yes, you're still harboring some hopes of getting back into this game, but I think the real goal is to win this quarter, because if you can say you took a quarter off of the preseason #2 team in the country, that is some stamp to go on your record book.
Foot race, won by Delaney. Carden. Right back to the X and Mastrobuono. Inside feed missed everyone, including the two open women. Camels had it momentarily, then they lost it, and the Jumbos will reset. Courtney Shute screaming that there should have been an offside call. To no avail. Around it goes to Zorn here. Now Mastrobuono. Shutt works it to Carden, up top claps. Draws the double, swings it to Joyce. Now Zorn. Mastrobuono cuts in, gets whacked. Surely that's got to be a foul. And it will be. It's going to be something. I believe a card is coming. Wow. Kind of surprised no card there.
And the one thing you can say about Kay Mastrobuono is she does not go down easily.
No, she should not. Gets set for the free position, whips it just wide, and that almost killed some people behind the net. Carden restarts play. Inside feed, Delaney bounced it wide. Zorn keeps it. Jumbo's poured on the gas. Joyce, hard dodge through two, shoots, and scores. Hat trick for Emma Joyce.
She had a bit of a slow start to this game, but she has had a fast ending.
I agree, especially as Tufts widens the gap between them and Connecticut College. They're going to have to really dig deep to see if they can at least try to take this last quarter from the Jumbos.
And one thing I think we have to note at this point is the difference in the Tufts offense since Kate Mastrobuono came on the field for Ella L'Esperance about 2 minutes into that third quarter. They scored 7 goals in the first 31 minutes of this game. In the 20 minutes since Mastrobuono's been on the field, they've scored 6, in which she has contributed to 4 of them.
That's an amazing feat, but not entirely surprising considering we've seen time and time again how strong the Jumbos offense is.
And a really bad penalty on Con College as they're going to lose possession because they had too many on the field. And as Catherine mentioned time and time again, it's the little mental mistakes that are really harming the Camels. Shutt working it around. Mastrobuono and Carden with a little two-woman game. Now it comes to Zorn trying to roll the crease. Skips it up top. Elsa Shutt coming down Main Street. That's shooting space all day. Shutt just left of center. Hard shot, and she bounces it in. Elsa Shutt's got 2 goals, 3 points, and the Jumbos, I mean, Micah, we talked about what the goal was for the Camels in this fourth quarter, and we talked about you providing a commentary blessing. You might have provided them a commentary curse.
I really might have. As Elsa Shutt only had 2 free position goals all of last year on 2 free position attempts, but she has doubled that career tally in this one game today, and that has really put the nail in the coffin for the Connecticut College Camels.
It has part of a 7-2 Jumbo run over the last quarter plus, in which they have really stuck it to the Camels in just controlling possessions. And you look up and down this score box here, and I think what's the most surprising thing is just the balance. You look at this team, 9 different Jumbos have scored today. There are 6 different Jumbos in with multiple points. And yet, you look at it, only 1 point from Madeline Delaney, only 1 point from Allie Zorn, only 3 from L'Esperance, only 2 from Carden. They're getting it from players who weren't racking it up in the score sheet last year.
This is such a huge thing for the Jumbos. It's something that Coach Shute talked about in her preseason interview, is the depth they have. They have such strength in depth, and they're bringing in more every year. We talked about the likes of Netta Leshley, who's coming in to reinforce the ranks in midfield. But even beyond that, there's just so much going on here that if something's not working, if Jenna Givens is having trouble on the draw, you can bring in Shutt or you can bring in Hammond. There's just so many options that you can turn to, and it really makes them one of the best teams in the country all by itself.
Unfortunately, we haven't really seen Connecticut College with all those options as they've only have one goalkeeper, and Ava Verga really is carrying their defense right now.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Ava Verga, the question would be, do the Jumbos have 20 right now? Because Jumbos have 14 goals, but Ava Verga has 11 saves.
But it's a great point, Riaz. Con College really are not blessed with that same strength and depth. So they only have 21 players on their full roster. Jumbo's with almost 20 more than that.
Shutt knocks it forward. Another foot race coming. Shutt almost had it. She goes down, and a trip called against Downey. Gibbons spins middle, and the Jumbo's going to look to run in transition. Delaney slows it down. And once again, the Jumbos will run it through Mastrobuono on the X. Uses Carden as a screen. Kind of the inverse of what you would expect. Now Zorn goes to work. Skips it. Carden catches. Spins. Dumps it off to Mastrobuono. Inside. Knocked away there. Carden somehow with a one-handed scoop keeps the possession alive. Zorn, no one on her, dumps it off. She gets run over. Joyce's goal is not going to count, but I think there's a card coming. A discussion with the referees.
The whistle had definitely gone before Joyce got the shot off, so this will be called back for the foul on Zorn, although I'm sure Joyce will be unhappy with that decision.
Referees having an extended discussion here. As the Jumbo's bench making some noise.
Going back to that question of depth, you could arguably attribute the Camels' fall-off in the latter stages of this game to that, as they have not had the luxury of rotating as the Jumbos had. They've had mostly the same players on the field for most of the game, and you can see the tiredness in those legs.
One of those tired defenders, Hannah Merritt, did get a yellow card for that. Not quite sure why Emma Joyce is the one with the free position, considering it was Zorn who got run over. Jumbo's going to be warming up for 2 minutes, but I would be willing to bet that Emma Joyce might look to score right now. Referee's finally satisfied. Joyce in strong, shoots, scores, make it 4.
That's as many as she ever got last season. She got 4 goals in 5 separate games last year. Now she's already gotten 4 in her first game this year. And this is the Jumbos starting to show what they can do when they really crank up the gears.
Jumbos are really showing that. Only had 7 goals the entire first half. Have 8 in the first 20 minutes of the second half.
I feel like the Jumbos have definitely found their momentum and groove in this quarter, and we'll see if Connecticut College will be able to do the same.
I agree with that, Rhea. And I think for the Camels, it's about what you can take away from this game and move forward with in terms of momentum and lessons learned. Because I don't see them catching the Jumbos in the remaining 8.5 minutes.
I think the biggest lesson they can learn from this is that they can hang with the big ones.
Speaking of hanging with the big ones, looking at the NESCAC scoreboard, a surprising result from Waterville. Colby College took down Wesleyan at 9-8 earlier today. So the number 3 team in the country goes down on opening day of the NESCAC. Hammond with the draw control. Jumbo's working it around here. Carden on the X. Looking for runners. Instead, she'll skip it. Claps up top. Skip pass. Zorn coming off it hard. Now calling out a play. Carden going to work. Through two. Margie Carden gets run over. It'll stay with the Jumbos. Mastrobuono gonna roll the crease, but couldn't quite find the angle. That one on the ground and scooped up by Sydney Weber.
Second huge interception by Sydney Weber on the day.
Now Johnston has a step on Cromwell. Spins on her. Coughlin going to work, and she'll back it out. Play being called out from the bench for the Camels. As Mastrobuono gonna get some much-deserved rest, as will Sophia Klebs. L'Esperance and Conahan back in. Coughlin. Not getting an inch on Nicola Summers. Puts it on the turf. Summers comes over to help and gonna get called for a trip, I believe. Possession will stay with the Camels. Fresh 60. Now the scorers have it correct. Or they will until the officials decide they have more things to talk about. Would not be a March game on Bello if there weren't clock troubles.
We've already had a little bit of drizzle at the start. Thankfully, we've been spared the worst of the elements.
Micah, haven't you had enough commentator cursing for today?
In 6 minutes left. Besides, we have our beautiful tent.
That is true. Shout out the athletics department for getting us this beautiful tent.
Agreed.
They have reset the shot clock back to the 43 it was at. Camel still possessing it. Referee is now going to have another discussion, perhaps figuring out what they're going to order on Uber Eats post-game.
Any guesses?
I would say something hot. That's my guess.
It's a reasonable guess.
Play finally resumes. 30 on the shot clock for the Camels. Pankey dropped it, got it back. Working against Leslie. Skip pass there to Johnston, who's been very involved but quiet on the score sheet. And a whistle goes. A crease violation on Johnston. Johnston making her case that she was pushed. Referee seemingly not interested. And the Jumbos too busy running to care. Conahan to Carden on the X. Now Zorn, hard cut, bounces it in the back of the net.
Not necessarily what you expected. With L'Esperance back in the games, Carden's still maintaining her position on the X. But she's making her impact there. Just another one goes past the keeper. Verga has really put in such a beautiful performance in the first 3 quarters, but this Tufts offense has really just steamrolled over her since then.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they found something with Margie Carden on the X because since they moved her there, the offense has been clicking.
Now the scoreboard is starting to reflect the shots stats. Tufts with 37 shots on the day to the Camels 15.
Speaking of the scoreboard, we now do have to be aware of the margin at 9. Another Jumbo goal would send us to running clock a little bit later than expected. Carden. Goes right back to the X. Here she is. Now L'Esperance back on the X. And collects the ball. Conahan. Jumbo's just running in circles. Conahan got the ball stripped from her, but they're going to call a hold on the Camels. Free position on the elbow here for Caroline Conahan. Goes through strong, bounces it wide, and it'll stay with the Jumbos. Zorn, little stutter step. Around it goes. Conahan collects in space. Shooting space called, I believe. And Conahan will try this time from the right side. Drive straight, left hand, save. And they're going to call a crease violation anyway. Another save for Verga, that's 12th. As the Camels look to run in transition. Zorn with a great defensive intervention. Knocks that ball down, and the Jumbos are running again. Gibbons is flying, outrunning the Camels by herself. Ahead, down low. Zorn catches, reverses, saves. Rebound. Still bouncing around. And now the Camels going the other way with it. All sorts of chaos here in Medford. Downey ahead to Coughlin. 4-on-3 if the Camels hurry. Downey down Main Street. Off the crossbar.
I think this is in honor of basketball season still going on. This turning into a basketball game out here on Bello.
Very apt analogy, Micah. Gill playing a little 2-1 with Coughlin. 3 minutes to play. And just dropping the ball there was Ognabene. And then that should be a card. Camels probably got away with that there. So there was some contact that looked like it might have clipped Jenna Gibbons up around the head. Nonetheless, the Jumbos are running. Margie Carden with it. 2:20 to play. A little bit of pitch and catch here from the Jumbo starting unit. Still on the field with 2 minutes to go. Up top. Shot. Now Carden going to work. Inside. Zorn gets clobbered. And Con College is going to pick up a 6th card on the day.
You mentioned earlier in the game, discipline definitely was one of their bigger downfalls last year, especially in conference play. That is something that Coach Vogley will have to sort out as this season gets more underway.
Zorn with it here, looking for a hat trick.
And a 4th quarter hat trick at that.
And Con College is locked in. They cannot escape because this is their 4th yellow of the day, so they will be woman down for the remainder of this game. Zorn shoots it, scores it, hat trick for her. The Jumbos push the lead to double digits.
This is what we expected coming into this game from the census #2 team in the country. They've made their stamp on proceedings today. They've sent the message out to the rest of the NESCAC, to Wesleyan, who've already lost, to Middlebury, who are still undefeated in so many games. They still mean business this year.
Absolutely. And you mentioned Middlebury. Took a quick look at that, and I don't think that undefeated streak's going away today. Up 8-1 over the 21st ranked Amherst College Mammoths at the half. Draw spun, controlled by Pankey. See if the Camels can go. Johnston. Coughlin just lost it, and now the Camels are caught out. Jumbo's running again. Zorn. Down low. L'Esperance. She gets her hat trick, and the Jumbos are putting flames on the fire.
Clock's still running. We're over 10 goals in goal differential. L'Esperance just pushing in the knife.
And for someone who was dead silent in terms of her impacts for the first 40 minutes of this game, Ali Zorn has put on quite a show down the end. 3 goals and an assist in the last 20 minutes.
See if they're able to get this draw off before the clock goes down.
That is the question of the day. They'll send it off. A violation on the Jumbos. And a timeout. Oh, wait, no, they're going to stop the clock. Because Conn College has too many women on the field. Don't really know why they're stopping the clock because this game is over but the final whistle.
Some intense counting going on between the referee and Coach Vogley.
I'll give it to the referee. He is invested in this game and doing his job. Coach Vogley not happy. She's doing her own count. And after all that, and Courtney Shute making the point that needed to be made that there are 2 seconds left in this game. We don't need to count this. Don't know why Conn College has the ball, but that's the final whistle. A crazy end, a crazy beginning, but in the middle, the Jumbos ran away with it. A dominant second half performance yields them an 18-7 win. Micah, your closing thoughts.
It was a really difficult opening for them, but they managed to come through it. Conn College really acquitted themselves well and pushed one of the best teams in the country really hard in that first half. But Tufts, that's a good sign for them that they can come through that early pressure and still make that look like an easy win by double digits.
All right, well, that's a great analysis, Micah. We're going to step aside momentarily. When we come back, we'll be here with a post-game interview, so don't go anywhere. post game. Riley Daniel here with Kate Mastrobano. Kate, you came in towards the beginning of that second half, and it seemed from the moment you came on the field, the offense just changed. You guys were able to pick apart that zone. What was the message at halftime in terms of attacking that zone?
Yeah, I think at halftime we kind of all took a reset. We took a breath and realized we weren't playing our game, or our peak performance. We've worked really hard over the past 4 weeks, and we are letting con defense dictate our energy. And we also weren't attacking like where the holes were. We saw like openings down low, decide to push there, and then have the back doors streak in. Our middies are incredibly fast and utilizing that on the fast break, and just pushing pace all over.
Yeah, I think that's leads into my next question, which is it seemed as if the major message, or at least the major change we could see on the sidelines, was speed. When you guys play fast, it seems like there's something special there. Is that a message you guys focus on in practice every day?
Yes, like coach always says, one thing we can control is being the most athletic team on the field. So that's something we really want to always buy into and really like use to our advantage. And I mean, when you have Madeline, EJ, all the middies streaking in, no one's gonna beat their feet. So just really utilizing that and pushing pace.
Let's talk about that. You guys have a rare quality in that every single one of your starters from a team that made the Elite Eight is back. What is it like knowing you got everyone back? This is your last shot to do something special.
Yeah, I mean, we really focus on staying present and being acknowledging that we have everyone back from last year, but also knowing that we have a new team. We have amazing freshmen, and just buying into that this team is a very special group, and we have the talent to go all the way, and just believing in ourselves because the talent's there.
Well, that definitely showed up today. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jason straight up in the cams. For all those alongside me, Rhea Jasti, Micah Baum, Catherine Burns, I've been Riley Daniel here on Bellow Field saying so long and see us Wednesday afternoon from Saul Gittleman as baseball has their home opener against Brandeis. Good night.